It's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2022 Toyota GR86 and its 8-speaker premium audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio adjustments, inputs, controls, speaker locations, then we're going to go out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now, if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning, you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And if you're tired of hearing the same songs week in and week out, sign up to become a Daily Motor member. There you can hear member-requested tracks, see some extra footage of the systems, and behind-the-scenes footage, and support the channel. So if you're interested, check the link in the description. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. I'm a big fan of the 86, especially in this sports car red-looking color. It's a lot of fun to drive around, and yeah, it's built at a price point, but I think you get quite a lot of bang for that point. We've got a lot of coverage on the GR86 as well as its sibling, the Subaru BRZ, so if you do want to see that, check the links in the description. We've got all sorts of videos. Now, we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones at both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. I highly recommend using headphones so you hear what I hear. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory default, so let's take a look at those now. Pretty straightforward infotainment system here. We are on the media screen. If you do want to see more on the infotainment, check the link in the description for our infotainment breakdown. Go here to audio settings. Now, if I remember correctly from the Subaru that we tested, there's actually a few different settings if you go this way. Let me see. Maybe they changed that sound. Audio. Yeah, see, this is a little bit different. you gotta remember that. If you go all the way in this way, then you can start with sound customization. You have an EQ with bass, mid-range, and treble. Let's go through those now. I'm actually going to start the car real quick and move it over so that we can get back in the shade. The longer we've been sitting here, the sun has moved out of the way. Okay, then you have this interesting little powerful button that you can press that immediately jacks up your treble and bass and a little bit on your mid-range. That's kind of silly if you ask me. You have adjustments for balance and fader, front and rear, left, right. Then vocal image control. Now if you move that around, it's going to kind of change where the mid-range, kind of the vocals, if you will, in a song are sort of emphasized. And if you choose this virtual stage enhancer, it says this function delivers high realistic surround sound by enhancing the vocals. When virtual stage enhancer is set to low, mid, or high, front and rear vocal image cannot be adjusted. So it's kind of weird. I don't really have any songs with vocals right here, but once this next song sort of gets going, then we'll sample that. Then if you go back, you have Sound Restorer. That's going to attempt to make compressed audio formats such as SiriusXM radio sound a little bit better. I'm going to leave that off for the test. Then you've got Virtual Bass. This function corrects the bass sound by adding harmonic sound. Okay, we'll sample that as well, but let's start with it off. Dynamic Beat Enhancer. This function restores the dynamic range lost in data compression and creates a sharp beat sound. That should probably be off as well because it's going to add more artificial aspects to our sound. So now that this music is going again, we're going to go through all of those silly little settings and see how they sound. do think there's such thing as too many adjustments and too much customization in a system, because a lot of cars will have some sort of compressed music enhancer, but it'll only kick itself on in compressed situations. This music is uncompressed, coming from USB, so it shouldn't be trying to restore anything. And if you have that on, I think it's just going to muddle up your music and make it sound very artificial. I think a lot of people are going to get confused. Oh, you got to have your virtual bass on, it's going to sound better. At the end of the day, who am I to tell you? I mean, if you think it sounds better, knock yourself out, have it on. I'm just saying, if I want my pure listening experience, I don't want anything artificial. I just want good sound. Audio controls in the BRZ. I have a nice volume knob here. It's in good reach, nice clicks. You also have volume on the left side of the steering wheel with up and down clicks. For track selection, you have nice physical controls on the right side, a tuning knob. If you're on the now playing screen, you can do that with the touch screen. And right by the volume controls on the left side of the wheel, where they should be, you have right and left for tracks. Audio inputs in the BRZ. You have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, USB-A, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay support, only wired, and a 3.5mm auxiliary input jack. So what does that mean you're missing? No USB Type-C ports, not the end of the world, and you don't have wireless CarPlay or Android Auto. Some people are going to be disappointed by that, but hey, for you old school boys, you got your 3.5 input jack, and technically that's a pretty good input for high fidelity audio. Speaker locations. As I said, this is the 8-speaker system, but I'm pretty sure it has a subwoofer in the back as well, so I don't know why they don't actually call it a 9-speaker system. It always confuses me when manufacturers miss out on the opportunity to call it an even larger system than it is, because technically a subwoofer is a speaker in my book. But anyway, let's start by taking a look here. You've got sort of a door woofer there, 1, mid-ranger 2, tweeter 3, 4, 5, 6 on the other side. In the back, 7 and 8. And then let's pop this trunk open and see if we can find that subwoofer. Maybe it's just an amplifier that I saw in the image, but the image I looked at made it look like we've got a subwoofer back here. That's good. Well, I'm not seeing any sort of subwoofer. So maybe that was just an amplifier that it was advertising. Not feeling a subwoofer either. So maybe it is just 8 speakers. Okay, well, if you want to see how Android Auto and Apple CarPlay work, check the link in the description for our infotainment review. But I'm going to get this stuff put away so we can get out on the road. only good news to come out of this, it's that those of you who bought a base BRZ or 86 with the 6-speaker system, you're not missing out on anything, because this 8-speaker system is trash. I was so surprised by the way it sounded that I had to go back in and make sure my sound settings were proper. I had to plug in a different device just to make sure that something wasn't messed up. I wasn't getting some sort of weird interference or just distortion or compression. It really doesn't sound good. The bass is very bad. You could hear how it was flopping against the door in ChillShop, and the mid-ranges are harsh into my ears. It almost sounds like someone just took some cheap speakers, placed them right on the front, and called it a day. I'm really surprised that they didn't do more work with the rear speakers and the door woofers just to make them a little bit better. I mean, I know this car is built at a price point, but gosh, for a few extra $100 for the premium model, you could have done a lot more with the sound system. This next song will turn the bass all the way up, and hey, see what happens. My thoughts on the 8-speaker system here in the Subaru BRZ. I'm also just finding out that there's also another thing I don't like about it. You can't change folders to different elements of... Oh wait, maybe I only have something. Never mind. Wrapping up my thoughts on this 8-speaker system here in the BRZ. I'm surprised it's not that good. You'd think paying more for a car like this, you'd get at least something that's up in a C. I'm not expecting like Civic SI levels of Bose sound system goodness, but this thing's over $30,000. I mean, at least give me something that's got a subwoofer that I can bump some R&B, or just doesn't fall on its face like this. I'm pretty disappointed. I think it's getting a D, which is no better than the sound system in the base car. That's what we gave that one. But I'm comparing it to other systems that have gotten C's and D's lately, and this sounds probably a little bit worse even than the system in our Ford Maverick. That's a cheaper system, and it's the base one, and it's a D. And And yeah, just compared to what you can get in other cars, it's not very good. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Subaru BRZ, it's got a lot of other things to offer. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.